This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you know it, and so do I, that it does not matter who the host is, even on this July the 1st of 2025, day 182 of the year, and only 183 days left to go. That means that at midday today, we will be on the downward spiral. Anyways, we are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and then hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
Radio Big.
Oh, yes, hanging out at RadioBig.fm as well, as we get to do our thing inside of the world of the multiverse, because that is just kind of the things that we do around here, no doubt about that. So how have you been? Hopefully the last 24 hours or so have been golden. So golden for you in regards to the stuff that is going on inside of your lifetime. Yeah, some Excito-Ido times over here, that's for sure. Always doing some stuff, trying to make some plans, doing some things. It is those things that we get to do. The craziness of behind the scenes of everything that is going on inside of the world of the multiverse is kind of the way that it goes. Anyways, if you want to interact with the show, it's a simple process on doing so. All you have to do is go to callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com. Once you get there, video, audio, and text messaging are the options that it will grant you, give you whatsoever, the things you get to do. Callinradio.com. Once those things occur, you get to take the look down the multiverse. What do I mean when I say that? Well, once you get there, it puts you into our system. Video, audio, text messaging, and we can do a little bit of everything inside of there. Anyways, today, let's talk about it. We're going to go through all the stuff going on inside of the world of news and safety that I have at my disposal, so don't worry about that. And then once we go through the stuff, well, then we move on to the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing as we go out throughout and all that stuff. Anyways, I have some people here hanging out from Feature Story News. They'll come in, give us some stuff about the news. Also, Alan Edwards will jump in, give us some news stories as well. So we got you covered on the news side. We'll give you a level of some version of a main story as well. So have you all covered up in regards of everything that's going on. So anyways, with that being said, why don't we start talking about what the hell was trending in the overnight? Because I think some people are going to want to know some of that stuff. So let's do that.
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so as we are looking and ducking and moving and grooving, let's talk real quick. Some notable and noteworthy: Canada backpedals on its new tech tax. Also, even Jeff Bezos get a sticker shock. Find out over what in the showbiz aspect. And then Bond producers are looking for a specific kind of man to be the next 007. We'll talk about that in details of the casting calls. So let's talk about this just for information purposes. Also, before I forget, Friday, we will not be here. The writers are, taking some time. So no one here on Friday, just a little version for you. And then we'll come up with something for tomorrow and good old Wednesday. Well, tomorrow is Wednesday. I guess tomorrow and Thursday is really what I'm trying to say. And then today is, a Canada holiday, just so you know. So information purposes right there. So, not a lot of stuff going on this week, at least in the stuff that we're talking about, but that's okay. That's okay. We still have each other. That's the important part. Okay, so with that being said, let's bring some friends in from Feature Story News. They're going to tell you what the hell's going on, so let's go ahead and get into the news cycle right now.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. The US Senate's holding a series of votes on amendments to President Donald Trump's massive tax and spending bill. The legislation would extend tax cuts, reduce some welfare programs, and increase the country's national debt. Indian officials are reportedly extending their stay in Washington as pressure to clinch a bilateral trade agreement grows. Negotiators are hoping to secure a deal by July the 9th, when the pause on American tariffs expires. Ishan Garg reports from New Delhi.
Reports say the US demanding India to open up its agriculture and dairy sector is a major hurdle in trade talks. Delhi has for decades protected these sectors that often employ the poorest in the country, and there are concerns about US produce, if allowed unfettered access, wiping out any competition. Both US and Indian officials say they are expecting to sign an interim deal soon, but that might depend on India receiving a waiver from US tariffs on imports and other levies on aluminium and steel goods. Sources in the government here say India would indeed like a deal, but isn't desperate for one. Ishan Garg, New Delhi.
UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer could face his biggest rebellion since taking office when MPs vote on planned reforms to welfare later. Dozens of Labour lawmakers have been expressing concerns about changes to eligibility to some disability benefit payments. The government says the system needs reform to stop it becoming unaffordable. Disability Minister Stephen Timms is hopeful the changes made to proposed legislation will convince most of those considering voting against their party.
Everybody agrees that the current system isn't working. We've still got a lower employment rate in the UK than we had before the pandemic. We're unique in the G7 in that respect, and it's this system that's a big part of the problem. We're determined to fix it. What we're doing is taking forward a big programme across government, which is improving people's prospects.
Hong Kong is marking 28 years since it was handed back to Chinese rule, with leader John Lee putting emphasis on national security and hastening Hong Kong's integration into national development plans. It follows the 5th anniversary of the Beijing-imposed national security law a day earlier. Laura Westbrook reports from Hong Kong.
Hong Kong's leader John Lee said national security remained a top priority. The former security chief also said he was keen to integrate Hong Kong further with mainland China. He ended his speech saying he would rather be an arduous reformer than a complacent idler. Attending the July 1st reception was Fred Lee, the founding member of a soon-to-be disbanded Democratic Party, making it the last time a Democrat will attend the reception. It follows another opposition party, the League of Social Democrats, which says it too will shut down due to intense political pressure. Laura Westbrook, Hong Kong.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks, looking today at Hong Kong, where one of the last pro-democracy political parties has disbanded. The League of Social Democrats announced they were ceasing operations after coming under what they called pressure. They said they had taken the decision to avoid consequences for the party's members at a time when Chinese officials have argued that efforts are underway in Hong Kong to launch soft resistance to Beijing's governance over the territory. Isaac Stonefish is the CEO of Strategy Risks, which helps companies navigate China's growing international influence.
Hong Kong's political system is entirely subsumed into the Communist Party political system. Since roughly 2020, there's been less and less space for any sort of oppositional parties against the norm of the Communist Party. And we just learned today that one of the last remaining Democratic parties is shutting down because the pressures are too immense for them. And the Hong Kong, for a long time, I would say, has been growing closer and closer to being a regular mainland city. And I think it's probably fair to say that that transformation is complete.
Monday saw the 5th anniversary of Beijing's security law governing Hong Kong, which the authorities argued was needed to restore order, but pro-democracy activists say was designed to stifle their freedom to advance their aims. I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, the US Senate's holding a series of votes on amendments to President Trump's massive tax and spending bill. Indian officials are reportedly extending their stay in Washington as pressure to clinch a bilateral trade deal grows. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer could face his biggest rebellion since taking office later when MPs vote on planned reforms to welfare, and Hong Kong's marking 28 years since it was handed back to Chinese rule. That's the latest feature story news. Ollie Barrett reporting.
Bringing you information you never knew you cared about. Rated R Safety Show.
It's always amazing to me on how technology changes, and so does the environment that we're in. And cyber criminals will do everything they can to take advantage of a system. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear about what I'm about to tell you. But if you own a home like me and you don't guard it with home title lock, you're inviting home title fraud. One of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know our home values are sky high at the moment, and that makes us a target. The crime is scary simple. Let me explain it to you real quick. A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sale form and refiles it. That's it. Now he or she is on the deed of your home and you have no idea that you're a victim. Then the person takes out a loan on your home and vanishes, leaving you to prove to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home Title Locks puts a virtual barrier around your home title. The instant they detect any kind of tampering or anybody messing around, they help shut it down. Look, if you have equity in your home, you need to guard it the best way that you can. Some people might even go as far as guarding it with their life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you already are a victim. And enter the code RADIO. That's RADIO. That's the code RADIO for 30 days free of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete Signal Transmission Trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all three books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
Hey there, Jay Allen here with Safety FM, where we just don't talk about safety, we live it. And when it comes to safeguarding your future, there's no better partner than Acorns. This part of the show has been brought to you by Acorns and a powerful tool that makes saving and investing easier than ever. We all know that investing can feel overwhelming, especially with busy lives and no time to dive into the nitty-gritty of financial markets, but Acorns changes the game. With Acorns, you don't need to be a financial expert or have a hefty sum of money to get started. In fact, Acorns lets you begin with just spare change. All about those small steps, small investments today that can build into something much bigger over time. Acorns recommends that the expert build portfolio designed to fit financial goals. Then it does the heavy lifting for you by automatically investing your money. It's like having a financial advisor in your pocket working around the clock to help your money grow. So why wait? Head over to acorns.com/safetyfm or download the Acorns app and take that first step towards securing your future today. Remember, in the world of safety and investing, small actions today can lead to mighty outcomes tomorrow. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides an incentive to positively promote Acorns. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisors. View important disclosures at acorn.com/safetyfm. At Safety FM, we're all about making smart decisions on the job and in life. So take control of your financial future. This is Jay Allen reminding you to stay safe, stay smart, and invest in your tomorrow.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
Embrace a daily boost of nature with Field of Greens. Discover the simple power of one scoop to elevate your well-being. Enjoy the flavor that appeals to you the most and let the blend of organic fruits and vegetables enhance your life. Experience the following benefits with Fields of Greens. Noticeable energy increase to power you throughout the day. Improved quality of sleep. Enhanced digestive comfort and a general uplift in your wellness. Field of Greens stands out with the selection of organically grown ingredients, each carefully picked for its benefits to your heart and overall health. We are confident that you'll appreciate the benefits of Field of Greens. If it doesn't meet your expectations, we offer a straightforward money-back guarantee. Jumpstart your health journey with a special offer, 15% off your first purchase plus complimentary expedited shipping. Just visit fieldofgreens.com and use the code SAFETYFM to redeem your discount. That's SAFETYFM at fieldofgreens.com. Experience nature's touch at fieldofgreens.com/SAFETYFM. And don't forget to tell them that Jay Allen sent you.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, here we are, 17 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out and doing our thing today. So there you go. Anyways, let's talk about this before I forget. So today at the noon hour, today, July the 1st at noon, our last interview that we did while we were gone to Banff over the, over that one particular week. I get to do an interview with Gordon Walsh. So that was kind of a cool interview in regards to being able to do it. But unfortunately, I didn't get to be able to catch up with him while we were there. So we did it kind of the week after when I got back to Florida, and then we just contacted via phone, but kind of covered some of the stuff that had happened in Energy Safety Canada. So you probably don't want to miss that one today. That's on the Safety FM podcast. That's a Safety FM with Jay Allen. So that will drop at noon time today. So if you might have noticed, we're doing some changes behind the scenes here, but don't worry. Some stuff that's coming your way forward-facing, just changing some servers, some programs like that. Nothing's changing drastically yet, but we got some stuff coming out down the pike. That way you can take a look at some of the stuff that's going on. So yeah, some new hosting stuff. You might have noticed, some branding changes, some stuff like that. But don't worry, we're not going anywhere. Just changing some things up because we're trying to make sure that it's an easier, accessible thing to you is really what it boils down to. So don't worry about anything else. We're not going anywhere. But anyways, Gordon Walsh and I sit down, talk about the event at Energy Safety Canada that happened in Banff back at the last week of April, first week of May. So take a listen to that today if you want. and sit back and enjoy. And believe me, if you have the opportunity next year to go to Banff, I would encourage it strongly. Anyways, with that being said, let's continue talking about some things that are going on inside of the world. Last week, President Trump abruptly cut off all trade negotiations with Canada to stop the implementation of the Northern Neighbors Digital Service Tax, which levies fees on tech companies with hundreds of millions in revenue. Now Canada says that it's suspending the tax, which were set to be collected on Monday. Companies like Amazon, Google, and Meta would have had to pay 3% tax of gross revenue from Canadian customers, retroactive to 2022. The nation's Minister of Finance said in a statement, rescinding the digital service tax will allow the negotiations of a new economic and security relationships with the United States to make vital progress and reinforce our work to create jobs and build prosperity for all Canadians. So that's something that was going on. So this is according to CNBC. So there's a halt to that right now. So we'll have to take a look and see what exactly is going on, because that's just kind of the world of that we're in currently, just the way that it goes. So there you go. Also, if you're renting a car as part of your summer travels, beware of the AI inspection system that automatically flags minor dings, dents, and dirt that could cost you hundreds of dollars. Hertz has begun using an automated scanner system built by UVI. Yes, UVI. Before departing the rental facilities, customers drive underneath the arch, and it takes a 360-degree before picture of the vehicle. Upon return, drivers pass back through it for the after, and the system automatically detects damage. Users have taken to social media to talk about the massive bills for minor damages. In one case, $440 for a 1-inch scratch on a wheel, usually scuffed when brushing the curb. The bill was $250 for a repair, but despite being fully automated, the cost of $125 for processing and a $65 administration fee. But wait, Hertz says that 97% of its cars pass through it without any detectable billable damages. This is according to the Daily Mail. So let me explain to you some stuff here. I like the idea of doing some AI stuff. Not going to lie. Not going to say anything different. But this is where we have to start talking about some human aspects inside of this. I'm not saying that the AI is wrong, but let's talk about this. $125 processing fee and a $65 administration fee. I'm going to tell you, Hertz, here's the problem you're going to run into. People are going to stop renting cars with you. If this system becomes a bigger clusterfuck than what it currently is, people are not going to rent cars there. Just kind of the way that it goes. And let's be realistic, 97%. So you're telling me that the people that are sticking out like sore thumbs about this do not fall into that 97% category. So this is only 3% of your rentals. I don't know. I have more questions than answers when it comes to this stuff.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Hey, I'm just saying, let's just keep it real. People are going to go to where, it's going to make sense to them. They're not going to go somewhere where they're going to be paying astronomical amounts of money in regards of renting a car. I mean, think about it as it is. Things are already high as is, so they're going to go where they're going to have a competitive edge. It's just kind of the way that it goes. Anyways, the 9th of the 10th escaped inmates from New Orleans area jail has been captured. More than a month after the incident, police rounded up number 9, 33-year-old Anthony Macy at a private residence in the area and was taken into custody without incident. He headed to a different state-run facility. Authorities continue to offer $50,000 reward for information that leads to the arrest of Derek Groves, the last missing inmate. This is according to CBS News. So there you go. Some stuff going on right there. If you're taking a look at the screener, that is the picture of him getting arrested. Just kind of the way that it went, the way that it goes. People are going to be like, hey, we're going to help you get captured. So there you go. That was the pick. So there you go. When you go back, it's not going to be a good time. It's not going to be a good time whatsoever. Anyways, crypto exchange Sidechicks X analyzed 7.3 million TripAdvisor reviews for 244 restaurant brands to find the worst rated fast food chain in the country. Topping the list with the average score of 2.89 out of 5 is Kentucky Fried Chicken, followed by McDonald's with the average of 2.99. Rounding out the top 10 related to the chains are Burger King with 3.0, Church's Texas Chicken 3.08, Long John Silver's with 3.16, Taco Bueno with 3.24, Taco Bell with 3.25. Let's see. Wendy's 3.27. Hardee's fell into the same category, and Pizza Hut with 3.28. In order to qualify for the list, the restaurant had to have at least 150 reviews on TripAdvisor. This was according to the New York Post. That's the list that's available for you, just in case you were wondering about where the hell the list came from. So just for information purposes, is just kind of the way that it goes, the gander of some of the information of everything going on there. It's kind of crazy when you start thinking about it. But if you do go to the New York Post website, and good luck trying to read through that shit without all those ads popping up on it, there is some information available on there in regards to how they came up to all this stuff. Also, the other portion, I can't even go through it without another ad coming up. So there you go. So a lot of stuff going on right there. Thanks to the New York Post, but geez, man, calm it down with the ads. I understand you're looking for some revenue, but geez. It's crazy. So there you go. Do we want to talk about weddings? Sure. Let's do it anyways. Miami Dolphins quarterback Zach Wilson and designer Nicolette Delano are married. He's 25. She's 23. The couple said I do on St. Patrick's Day, at St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York City on Saturday before dancing the night away at the Rainbow Room. Also, Green Bay Packers quarterback Jordan Love and professional volleyballer Ronica Stone are married. The athletic pair tied the knot on Sunday after a year-long engagement. He's 26 and she's 27. Why are people getting married so young? I'm just asking. You do you. I'm just asking the question. That's kind of young, isn't it? 23 and 27? I don't know. Maybe I'm just lost in a romance in our wilderness of pain. Okay, so let's talk about the numbers because some people are going to care about this stuff. The Dow gained about 275 points to close at 44,094 on Monday, and the S&P gained about 31 points to close at 6,204, and the Nasdaq increased by 96 points to close at 20,369. West Texas Intermediate closed at $64 a barrel, and Brent crude was at $66 a barrel. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.18 on Monday, and Bitcoin remained mostly flat, trading in the mid 107,000 range on Monday evening. Tonight's Mega Million drawing will be for $50 million jackpot or a $22.4 million cash payout. So if you want to play the game, you have the opportunity to do so. Let's talk about this real quick. We talked about it yesterday on hour 2 and 3 of the Jay Allen in the Morning Show, but let's talk about it here because some people were intrigued by this. But Beyoncé was left dangling mid-air in a car during her first Houston Cowboy Carter tour stop. During a performance with the song 16 Carriages, she was lifted into the air in a red car while the vehicle was supposed to make it to the way around the venue. The technical mishap caused it to stop and tip to one side. Realizing that something was amiss, Bey stopped singing and yelled, "Stop, stop, stop, stop," before they were lowered to the ground. After safely exiting the car, Bey returned to the stage and continued her performance. This is according to the information that was occurring to the New York Times. So there you go. Some stuff going on right there as we are talking. Good luck getting to the New York Times without creating a free account because, geez, everything's about the ads. Let's get that over there for you. What else? So we got that. And then even one of the world's richest men is still sticker shocked. Jeff Bezos reportedly tried to get an either Lady Gaga or Elton John to perform at his wedding last weekend, but each wanted, are you ready for this? $6 million for the gig. Guests to the A-list event apparently expected a surprise performance from some kind of notable performer, but they had to settle for DJ Cassidy. One of the guest dishes that it was a wedding of the year, but don't expect Beyoncé prices from a man who built his fortune on free shipping. So there you go. I don't know. That it's interesting. $6 million for a one-time performance. I'm just saying. I mean, I understand that you have to sell at what you think you're valued at, but geez, man, $6 million sounds a little outrageous to me in regards to the stuff that's going on. That's for sure. Anyways, before I forget, let's talk about this real quick because some people are going to want to see this. Didn't I just show this? Yeah, I just showed this. Why don't we delete that? Let's delete that one. We don't need that picture. Okay, so delete that. But hey, what about this? You ready about this? Did I tell you about Conklin Conference coming up? Yeah, Conklin Conference 4 coming up September the 9th through the 11th of 2025 in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Would love to see you there. If you're taking a look at the screen arena right now, we have the QR code. All you have to do is scan it. It'll take you there to the website, exactly what we have going on. If you want to come out, hang out with us, you'll have the opportunity to learn from the likes of Todd Conklin, Martha Acosta, Bob Edwards, Jen T. Long, Andrea Baker, Mark Yeston, and I will be there in a hosting capacity in regards of everything that's going on. If you don't have access to the screen arena and you want some more information, all you have to do is go to safetyfm.com and click on the section that says live events. Once you do that, it's going to take you somewhere. And you're going to have some info and some things to do. So that's safetyfm.com, live events. We're going to cover all kinds of information related to human performance. We're going to talk about some things that are going on. The whole schedule is on the website. So just some info there in regards of overview. People are always looking for overview, so that should help you out in regards of what's going on. Would love to see you there. If you're interested in showing up, and doing all the kind of the fun stuff as we go. Like I always tell people, when you go to that event, be prepared to have room in your suitcase. And people go, well, why is that? Books. Yeah, books. If you're not ready, you're going to get some books. Just kind of the way that it goes. Books, 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 books. That's just the way that it happens. Anyways, with that being said, why don't we go ahead and get into some new stuff, because I think it is important to do. Why are we doing that news? That's not the news. We're supposed to be going into some main story stuff. What's going on with the screen, man? You know, I'm always complaining about something new around here. It feels that way. Now the screen doesn't want to flip back out, which is even funnier than anything else going on. Oh, I love it.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Oh, I love live radio and broadcasting and all that kind of fun stuff, because you never know what kind of cluster is going to happen in regards to the stuff that's happening inside of the world. So anyways, let's talk real quick. And I feel like every so often we need to bring this stuff up. And I say that we need to bring it up because we tend to forget in regards of what is going on. What is it that that we're supposed to be looking at? And what exactly we're supposed to be doing? Because some people tend to forget this. And I look at it from the standpoint of, if we looked at this all the time, we would not run into the problems that we run into. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about that from a consistent standpoint. We're constantly trying to do stuff within our systems, but we forget the integral points of what is important to what is going on. So why don't we go through some of the aspects here and some of the information of some of the things that we need to talk about? And so it would lay out something like this. If you look at the 5 principles of human organizational performance, or you can talk about it from human and organizational performance, depending on how you want to take a look at it, we have to look at it from the standpoint like this. And just in case you're not familiar with them, I'm going to break them down and then we'll talk about them. But remember, error is normal, blame fixes nothing, context drives behavior, learning is vital, and how management responds matters. Now, I always talk about that we can apply these things to life, but we can also apply them to the things that are going on inside of the world. But because we're talking from a safety aspect and we're talking about from a cultural change aspect, let's look at it from this standpoint. If we look at things that error is normal, this principle acknowledges that mistakes are inherent and that they're going to happen because it's all part of being human. Regardless of your experience and your training, this is always going to be part of what the hell is going to go on. Let's just be realistic. The other part, number 2, blame fixes nothing. Instead of assigning blame to an individual for errors, which we tend to love to do, with human organizational performance, it emphasizes investigating underlying causes and system weaknesses that contribute to the mistakes. Think about this for a moment. Think about it from the standpoint on how that would work. Also, context drives behavior. Human actions are heavily influenced by the environment, process, and organizational culture in which they occur. Think about it. Think about how your mindset works on where you're located inside of your workplace. Think about it just for a moment. If you don't give any thought to anything else I'm saying, think about how your mindset impacts everything else that's going on. Also, learning is vital. HOP prioritizes learning from both success and failures to identify areas of improvement and prevent future errors. Now, preventing future errors is from the context of looking at it and going, if we're learning, maybe we can put something else inside of the system to help. Think about it for a moment, because it changes everything. And then last but not least, response matters. Management response matters. How an organization responds to errors and incidents is crucial. A constructive response focuses on learning and improvement rather than punishment. Because we always have had that factor of the name, blame, and shame game where we want to do something of, well, it was that person's fault. And because it was that person's fault, if we removed them from the system, those issues will go away. Well, I got a surprise for you, because that's not the case. Duh. So think about this for a moment. You have Joe Smith working in your next department. You got rid of him and you said, hey, this person was the cause of this issue. We're going to get rid of the person now. You get rid of the person, and guess what? The problem doesn't go away. It just still continues. Did it improve anything for you? Or did you start running into bigger factors of what was going on? That is the stuff that we have to talk about. Because when you start looking at it from that particular faction and realize that once you removed Joe Smith from X department, nothing changed. The same problem still just occurred. It was just that one event, you had that moment that you said, oh, it was their fault, so we don't have to worry about it anymore. That's not how it works. So if you look at it through the lens of the 5 principles, not once, but all the time, things will change for you. So just one more time, error is normal, blame fixes nothing, context drives behavior, learning is vital, and response matters. Take those 5, run with them, and see how different life is once you get to the other side.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
I know you all want to hit your revenue targets and get the launch done. Well, making sure that your team knows what to do and how to do it is a huge part of it. So I'm sure that you all do different kinds of training, and I'm willing to bet that you probably use PowerPoint, Zoom, etc. I also bet that when you get someone droning on about a topic using these tools, you probably zone out. And your team does too. I mean, it is a reality of what happens. That's why I strongly recommend a tool called Articulate 360. That makes it so easy to whip together interactive, really beautiful e-learnings that really engages people and gets info across. You can create short-form micro-learning, super interactive courses, and really whatever you need when you're in their site. Then with a couple of clicks, you can send it out and check on it and see the progress of your team. Your team can also check back on the training anytime they want in a super simple portal. Literally everyone uses Articulate. Over 120,000 companies and all 100 Fortune 100 companies. Check it out at articulate.com/360 to start a free trial. That's articulate.com/360 to start your free trial. And don't forget to tell them that I was the one that sent you there.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
If you're anything like me, you have certain tendencies to put things off, such as filing taxes, seeing the doctor, working on that home improvement project that you're supposed to be doing, but you just haven't gotten to it. And while most of the times it works out, the one thing in life that you really cannot afford to wait on is setting up term coverage life insurance. You've probably seen life insurance commercials on TV and thought, yeah, I'll look into it later. Well, the answer is no. This isn't something that you can wait for. Choose life insurance through Ladder today. Ladder is 100% digitals, no doctors, no needles, no paperwork. When you apply for $3 million in coverage or less, just answer a few questions about your health in an application. Ladder's customers rate them 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot, and they've made Forbes' best life insurance in 2021's list. You just need a few minutes and a phone or a laptop to apply. Ladder's smart algorithm works in real time, so you'll find out if you're instantly approved. No hidden fees, cancel anytime, get full refund if you change your mind in the first 30 days. Ladder policies are issued by insurers with long proven histories of paying claims. They're rated A and A+ by AM Best. Finally, since life insurance costs more as you age, now is the time to cross it off your list. So go to ladder.com/safetyfm today to see if you're instantly approved. That's LADDER life.com/safetyfm. Ladderlife.com/safetyfm.
This isn't a safety manual. It's a transmission. Jay Allen, PhD, host of the Rated R Safety Show and founder of Safety FM, has spent years pulling back the curtain on the systems we work in and the ones we don't talk about. What started as a fatal crash on the 405 became a search for truth through behavior-based safety, human and organizational performance, simulation theory, and everything in between. Safety, in my opinion, is raw, reflective, and real. From burnout to breakthroughs, from the matrix to the moment someone says, "This doesn't feel right." This book doesn't give you answers. It hands you the signal. Safety, in my opinion. Available now, wherever books and audiobooks are found.
You're being infiltrated. Radio Big.
Okay, it definitely sounds like we're rattling some cages this morning, that is for sure. Anyways, currently 46 minutes past the top of the hour as we are hanging out here on the Rated R Safety Show, doing all the fun stuff we get to do, no doubt there. So as we are hanging and banging, we're taking a list of Saints of Valerie right now with Rattle My Cage. Songs available on Pandora, Apple Music, YouTube Music, and Spotify, just in case if you're wondering. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse as we always are hanging. Rattle my cage. Okay, so some stuff going on right there. Thanks to Saints of Valerie for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. No doubt about that, as we are hanging out doing our fun stuff around here. So let's talk about, the most important thing that I will tell you in my lifetime. And that is about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. So no matter what you're facing, you deserve to connect to help. People at To Write Love on Her Arms want you to know that people have been where you are now and that healing is possible. Things can get better. Once you get to TWLOHA.com, click on the section that says Find Help. And you'll see information related to addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorder, self-injury, suicide, and trauma. That is just to name a few. So there you go. Anyways, with that being said, let's continue talking about some other things going on inside of the world of the multiverse. Pouring cold water on cold showers. Yeah, with many areas dealing with serious heat and wave this week, you might be thinking that the best way to start the day might be with a nice cold shower, or maybe you prefer to end the day with one. Well, bad idea. According to expert Adam Taylor, professor of autonomy at Lancaster University, warns that dousing ourselves in cold water constricts blood vessels near the skin, thus trapping heat inside. A cold shower or an ice bath can even trigger dangerous cold shock response, especially in those with heart conditions. And if you're considering a hot shower, maybe it's just for the feeling of relief when when you're done, don't be that guy or girl either. And they just add heat instead of the best is a lukewarm shower around 26 Celsius or 79 degrees Fahrenheit. That brings your blood to the surface to a cool and helps clean away sweat and bacteria. If you must go cold water, ease it in gradually to avoid shocking your system. Or if you really want to cool down, do what my wife does. Apparently, stick your feet in the freezer for an hour before you go to bed. Cold showers are great for after bad decisions and, bad for your pores. So I guess that's this kind of the way to take a look at it as we are going in regards of some stuff going on inside of the world. No other way to look at it is the way that I take a look at it. So I don't know. It's just weird. It's just weird. I'm just saying. I am just saying in regards of the stuff that is going on. That's just the way that it goes. Okay, so let's continue talking about some other stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse. And I think, therefore I am, it is time to bring in some John Smalls and let him tell us about the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com.
The Motivation Minute.
Today's quote was submitted by Larry. Attributed to Frank Outlaw, Charles Meade, and others. Watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny. Yeah, I need to get better at following the advice I dish out every week. My thoughts wander off the path to side projects that keep me busy, sometimes too busy to get my real work done when I should be working on that, rather than creating these new things I do. Okay, I've identified the problem. Now I just need to follow through.
The Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Hello, I'm Richard Exley with your 1 Minute Devotion. Have you suffered hurts and disappointments so painful that you can't bear to remember them? If that's the case, you may have tried to repress them. Unfortunately, that which we repress is beyond the reach of God's grace. Thus it lives on to torment us and to undermine our relationships. It's only as we can own our past, that is, bring it to God in honest confession, that His grace can truly make us new. That's what Jesus did for the woman at the well. He confronted her with her past in order to transform her. Lord Jesus, give us the courage to own our past so you can set us free. In your holy name we pray. Amen. If these devotions are a blessing and an encouragement to you, you can subscribe at oneminutedevotion.com.
News on the Rated R Safety Show.
A hard-right lawmaker has been sworn in as Greece's migration minister following a cabinet reshuffle.
His appointment sparks concern among rights groups amid ongoing debates over immigration policy reform. Analysts say this marks a shift toward a tougher stance on asylum seekers and may affect Greece's cooperation with EU partners. The move also comes as Greece seeks to balance domestic political pressures with international migration obligations. Benjamin Wright reporting.
Germany's foreign minister visited Kyiv yesterday, pledging continued support for Ukraine amid the ongoing conflict with Russia. Joseph Eckerson reports.
He reiterated Berlin's commitment to military assistance and reconstruction aid. Officials say Germany will deliver additional defensive systems and coordinate with allies on next steps. Kyiv officials welcomed the visit as a strong sign of European unity. The minister also emphasized plans for increased humanitarian funding.
Iran and Israel appear to be stepping back from further escalation after U.S. mediation, with Tehran and Jerusalem said to be moving closer to accepting a temporary ceasefire proposal.
President Trump clarified Monday that he is not offering Iran anything at this stage. Top Iranian religious leaders have issued fatwas warning that threats to their supreme leader are tantamount to waging war against God. French President Macron called on Iran to allow UN inspectors and rejoin nuclear dialogue. Ceasefire negotiations continue amid strong international pressure. Lawrence Keller reporting.
This is the latest news headlines.
The gunman suspected of fatally ambushing firefighters responding to a blaze in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, on Sunday has been identified, according to law enforcement officials.
Wes Rowley, who was found dead after an hours-long multi-agency manhunt in the area, has been identified as the shooter. Multiple senior law enforcement officials briefed on the investigation stated, responding SWAT team members located a deceased male on Canfield Mountain with a firearm nearby, the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office said in an update Sunday evening. Kevin Sanders reporting.
A fatal firebomb attack in Boulder, Colorado killed an 82-year-old woman and injured 15 others during a solidarity walk.
Police allege the suspect used a makeshift flamethrower and Molotov cocktails targeting pro-Israel demonstrators. The victim, who sustained severe burns, died June 30th in hospital. The suspect faces federal hate crime charges and dozens of state counts. Authorities are urging anyone with information to come forward. Kyle Norris reporting.
A small plane crashed near Howland Township late Sunday, killing 6 people and leaving no survivors.
Officials report the aircraft went down shortly after takeoff, though the cause remains under investigation. Local emergency crews responded within minutes and are assisting the National Transportation Safety. Families of the victims have been notified. Investigators are examining flight data and weather conditions. Liam White reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
Our station is so big that you don't have to do much to make it work for you. Radio Big.
Okay, so here we go. 55 minutes past the top of the hour, so let's start talking real quick about some things that happened back on this date. Back in 1997, Mike Tyson is suspended from the Nevada Athletic Commission. The move comes after he bit Evander Holyfield's ear during the heavyweight title fight 3 days prior. That was also a fine of $20 million. That happened back in 1997. Let's talk about some birthdays that are going on today. Tate McRae turns 22. Storm Reed, 22. Chloe Bailey, 27. Randy Rodriguez, 32. Danielle Ricardo turns 36. Hillary Burton turns 43. Liv Tyler turns 48. Missy Elliott, 54. Melissa Peterman turns 54 as well. Juliana Nicholson, also 54. Henry Simons turns 55. Pamela Anderson, 58. Alan Ruck, 69. Dan Aykroyd, 73. Brian George, 73. And Debbie Harry, oh yeah, from Blondie fame, she turns 80 today, just in case if you were wondering. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, well, I have a few of those for you. It's International Joke Day and National Poster Worker Day. Yeah, that's a thing. Okay, if you need a random joke for today, try this one. No one on Facebook can believe their kid's turning any age. Just saying. If you need a phone starter for today, try this. If you woke up tomorrow and discovered that everything in life is free, what's the first thing you'd do? Just asking. If you need a question for the water cooler, try this. 49% of couples do this together before getting married. What is it? Get a pet. Oh, I thought they were going to say pet each other, but that's a whole other story. Okay, so that's good. That's going to sum up our time together. Thanks for hanging out with me on this lovely day. At the top of the hour, I'll be going over to radiobig.fm for the next couple hours or so and hanging out and doing all the fun stuff that we get to do. For people that are asking still, yes, the trilogy is available in one single book, the Signal Transmission Trilogy, all in uno. Yes, available on Amazon. Yes, it is available on Amazon. If you go hang out in the hardcover section. So yeah, Signal Transmission Trilogy, all in one, available for you. Anyway, so that's it. I'm going away. You can hang out with Sheldon Primus here on Safety FM. He'll talk about the world of safety consulting. If I can leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this. The only limit to our realization of tomorrow is our doubt for today. Think about that. It'll take you places that you did not expect. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios. as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.